You know, there is nothing in sports quite like being a New York Giants fan.
Nothing. The passion, the history.
It pulls you in, right? Even when things are, well, chaotic and honestly pretty embarrassing like they are right now. We're in the middle of a total catastrophe of the season.
We are. And we really have to just cut through all the spin and figure out what management is actually thinking.
Exactly. We've been looking at the GM's latest press conference and just trying to get some answers.
Trying to decode all the excuses, really.
Because the big question, the one that's just burning me up, is how? How, with a record this bad, is the current leadership still here? And what on earth is the actual plan?
That's it. We need to get into the real mindset here, not just listen to the talking points.
So let's start where it all began. The optics, which were just awful.
Disastrous, really. Is a disastrous start. In sports, optics are everything, and the first thing you notice is the GM, Joe Schoen, is 40 minutes late to his own presser.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
And not just once. He did it twice. For a press conference that was supposed to make us all feel better.
What message does that send? I mean, forget the media. What about inside the building?
That's what gets me. The hypocrisy of it all is just staggering.
Oh, absolutely. They just benched Abdul Carter for being late to a meeting.
So a player gets held to this super high standard, which, hey, I'm for that. You need discipline.
Of course.
But the guy in charge, the man setting the culture, he strolls in 40 minutes late to maybe the most important public appearance of his year.
It's not just jarring, it's hypocritical.
Oh.
It completely undermines everything he says about accountability.
And you could see it on his face. He looked completely uncomfortable up there.
He looks scared, frightened even. That is not the look of a confident leader who's about to turn this ship around.
No, it's the look of a guy who's stressed out and maybe not sure he's going to have a job next week.
He looked miserable.
Uh-huh.
And that demeanor plus the lateness, it just set the stage for how he's going to answer the questions, which was pure deflection.
Oh, the deflection. Let's talk about the phrase, "I understand your question."
Yeah. So we actually went back and counted. It's kind of depressing.
How many times?
He said, "I understand your question." More times than the Giants have scored offensive touchdowns this season.
Wow. That one actually hurts. That really puts it in perspective. Failure versus deflection, right there in one stat.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you have to see that for what it is. It's not just a nervous stack.
No, it's a strategy.
It's a defensive mechanism, a stalling tactic. It's what you do when you don't have a real substantive answer to give.
Yeah.
It just shows he has no faith in his own message.
So, okay, let's get past the performance itself and look at what he's actually standing on, because you need to deflect when the reality is this bad.
And the reality is just, it's brutal.
Yep.
The hard truth is 5 wins. 5 wins in the last 30 games.
It's one of the worst stretches in the history of this franchise.
Yet, what's the standard he claims to have?
Championships. I can't even say it without getting mad. Championships. Are you kidding me?
How can you even say that with a straight face? When you are getting absolutely manhandled by teams that are basically trying to lose.
We're losing to the Patriots, who are playing with, what was the line? Algebra teachers at quarterback.
That's it. And that's the whole problem right there. The massive gap between the talk about a championship standard and the on-field reality, which is just abysmal.
And this is where my frustration as a fan just boils over. It's the accountability.
Or lack thereof.
Why does Joe Schoen still have a job? I still can't figure it out. He oversaw this mess. He fired a coach he claimed he didn't want to fire. He's got 2 wins this season.
But he's still there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is gone. Daboll's gone. Bowen is gone. Daniel Jones is on the sideline. Special teamers come and go every week.
But the one constant, the architect of all this, he remains untouched.
You know, we started calling him the cockroach of accountability.
That is perfect, because everyone else gets purged, but he survives.
It really makes you ask a bigger question, though, a structural one. Does this come from ownership? Is he being protected?
It has to be. Because if there are no consequences at the very top, it means winning isn't the number one priority. It's something else. Internal stability, maybe? Even if it's stable failure.
And that suggests a rot that goes way deeper than just the GM.
Absolutely. And when you have that kind of protection, you need to get really, really good at blaming other people. He came with a whole list of excuses.
Oh, he was prepared. It's like a flowchart of blame. And the biggest one, the one with the most politics involved.
He blamed ownership.
Right. Blamed them for the Daniel Jones contract and for firing Daboll.
You know, part of me thinks that's almost a smart move politically. He's basically signaling to everyone, hey, my hands were tied on that one.
It's smart for him, maybe. but it completely destroys any idea that the front office and ownership are on the same page.
What else was on the excuse list?
The 2023 offseason, some of those bad signings, he blamed peer pressure.
Peer pressure, like other GMs were daring him to sign bad players.
It's bizarre. And then for the 2023 draft class, which has been a huge disappointment, his excuse was just, the kids are young.
That makes no sense. If they're young, they should be getting better, not being used as an excuse for why the team is terrible.
Exactly. But the one excuse, the one that really got under my skin, was about the run defense.
Here we go. We cannot stop the run. Every fan, every single person watching these games knows we just get gashed week after week.
It is a fundamental, devastating failure of this team for years now.
So what was his brilliant, in-depth analysis of this systemic problem?
He literally just said, everybody makes mistakes.
You're joking.
I wish I was. It was like he was trying to sing that old Nobody's Perfect song at the podium.
Yeah.
So dismissive.
That's unacceptable. That is not a mistake. It's a pattern. It's a systemic failure year after year. So what is it? Is it the players or is it the scheme? Because he's trying to cover for something with a line like that.
It feels like it has to be coaching and scheme. When you see guys out of position this often, missing their gap assignments over and over, that's not just players having a bad day.
That's bad preparation.
It's poor coaching. It's a bad game plan. And by just shrugging it off as mistakes, he's refusing to admit there's a structural problem that he, as the manager, is supposed to fix.
Okay, so after all the excuses, he tried to pivot, right? He tried to sell some hope. He said, we have pieces.
Yes, the pivot to the future. Identifying the supposed building blocks.
Who did he mention?
Andrew Thomas, Theo Johnson, John Michael Schmitz, some guys in the secondary.
And he mentioned the one name that actually gives me a spark of real hope. He mentioned Jackson Dart.
He did.
And let me just say, I am all in on Dart. That kid is the future. He is a genuine building block at the most important position in all of sports. It's the one thing that keeps me watching.
And, mentioning a guy like Dart shows you're at least thinking about the future quarterback situation. But the rest of that list...
What's wrong with the rest of the list?
Well, we saw it described not as a foundation, but as a yard sale.
Ouch. A yard sale, meaning they're just assets you're looking to get rid of, not build around.
That's the idea. And the comparison they used to show how flimsy this foundation is was just brutal.
Go on.
They said if Theo Johnson is truly a foundational piece for this team, then the Jets' offensive line must be a Michelin star meal.
Wow. That's rough. So basically, the assessment is that the GM is wildly overvaluing his own talent.
Especially when these so-called pieces just got dominated by a third-string quarterback.
If your building blocks can't win now, what exactly are they building towards? Which brings us to the coaching search.
Right. So his plan for the search is to be thorough and collaborative.
Which sounds good on paper.
It sounds good, but the immediate interpretation of that was we're going to overthink this and hire the wrong guy again.
Okay, but hold on. That's a little cynical. After all this failure, shouldn't they be thorough?
They should be. But collaborative is the word that's worrying. A decisive leader makes a decisive hire. Collaborative can mean too many tricks in the kitchen, too many voices who shouldn't have a say. And then he claims the job will be attractive.
And the obvious question is, why? Why would this job be attractive right now?
Someone joked, attractive to who? Domino's Pizza, the XFL. It just shows the gap between how they see themselves and the reality of a 5-30 team.
And you have to do an external search. You just have to. After that last game, Mike Kafka is clearly not looking like a head coach candidate.
Absolutely not. The offense is lifeless. The results on the field are screaming that you need a total reset from the outside.
But why would a top-tier coach come here? What are you selling them? A broken offensive line, an expensive and moody receiver, and a GM who blames his owner for his mistakes.
It just screams instability.
So that's the whole cycle, right? Delay, deflect, delusional standards, and the blame game. And the buck stops with Schoen.
Exactly. The contradiction is right there. He claims a championship standard, but he takes zero accountability for a 5-30 record. He just points fingers at ownership, at peer pressure, at young players.
Which leaves only one place left to look. The very, very top. Ownership. They promised to evaluate the football operations at the end of the season.
And we're all waiting, but our patience is pretty much gone.
This is where I think most of the fan base has just lost all confidence.
I think so. The feeling is that this whole cycle is just going to keep repeating until ownership changes how they do things.
They have to stop listening to outside noise.
That's what we heard. They need to stop listening to, and I'm quoting here, his uncle's cousin's neighbor's dog groomer.
That's perfect because that's what it feels like. Arbitrary decisions based on who they talk to last, not on a clear strategic vision.
And if that's how the decisions are made at the very top, then any new coach or any new GM is being set up to fail from day one. The lack of accountability is systemic.
So, for you, the fan, who has sat through all of this failure year after year, we want to leave you with this final thought.
Given everything we've seen, the lack of accountability from the GM, the interference from the top, what systemic changes does ownership need to make before they hire anyone else?
Because if they don't fix the foundation first, this cycle of delays, excuses, and delusion is just going to start all over again with the next guy. It's not about the next hire. It's about fixing the house they're being hired into. Just wanted to say a massive thank you for tuning in to Big Blue Tea.
Absolutely. And, a huge shout out always to Black Freezy TV.
Oh,
For
definitely.
the fantastic programming, the production, everything that makes this possible.
Yep. Their work behind the scenes is just really appreciated.
It really is.
This has been Big Blue Tea.